Hey, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute. It's been a month and a half since I've put out content, technically, since I took down the JonTron video, JonTron Season 2. For those who followed me, or not, I am remaking the JonTron Season 2 review. Or remaking, I'm adding stuff to it currently. And I am taking the political rant out, and I'm making a whole video about it, clarifying myself and talking about my reasonings behind putting it in the video and why we should talk about it more. I didn't spend enough time working on the original video. I was very stressed with school at the time. I didn't put in as much effort as I wanted to. With the politics stuff that seemed to be the center of discussion around the entire video, it caused a massive backlash from people, and I'm going to clarify a few things here and say we should talk about what happened in the past, even if he sort of disingenuously apologized. That's just my opinion. But why I needed to talk about it is probably just as important, too. I don't want to be lumped in with somebody who may have another political outburst where he might say something morally reprehensible. JonTron is another politically illiterate gamer dude on the internet. I'm sorry. They're a dime a dozen. However, JonTron is a politically illiterate gamer dude with a massive platform and following. And when he accidentally, or maybe intentionally, but I don't want to believe that, spouts some very questionable rhetoric, that tends to destroy somebody's image when they say something horribly controversial. And it's not even him being like a center-right, centrist, or whatever he labels himself as, or whatever he wants to label himself as. It's just the things he said in the Destiny stream, the Sargon live stream, and certain things are very questionable, and people are going to be skeptical of him and what he says now, and it's going to distort his image whether you like it or not. Unfortunately, that's just how it goes. And I also have to contend with that when I make content directly about him, especially when I analyze him. I might be inadvertently giving him more of a platform, even though I respect the content that he made in the past, and even now I like some of his videos. However, I don't want to leave the political stuff out of the discussion. Now, you can debate whether or not what he said is actually questionable or morally reprehensible, or if you agree or disagree with him or not. I personally disagree with him, and I think we should think about what he says more. The whole gene pool comment, when they enter the gene pool comment, whatever lens you want to put that through, there's a lot of implications with that, and that's one thing I mainly contend with. I know there's a lot more he said that is questionable, but that's the one thing that really gets me. That's very like, I might be indirectly giving my my platform to somebody with very questionable beliefs, and something we should question more of. It's just that you can't separate the artist from the art sometimes, especially when there's constant discourse around it. And this is more of a thing for me as a creator. If you're here watching the videos, yeah, you can easily do that. If you're not politically inclined, or you don't care for that stuff and watching your entertainment, that's fine. However, as a creator, I have to address that, and I politely ask that you respect that, especially if I am to tackle more, I guess, problematic things in the future, especially with creators. Now, I am going to, in the future, review JonTron Season 3 and Starcade. I think it was a bit disingenuous of me to even completely negate the idea of it. However, I'm going to redirect everything back to this video when that happens again. Like, when I say, hey, watch this video to discuss JonTron's politics. This is an open forum for that, by the way, this video. If you want to discuss it, go ahead. But as it is my responsibility to talk about these things and call to it, because I don't want to be lumped in. It's a lose-lose situation. Look at it like this: if I don't, people are going to attack me. If I do, people attacked me. You know, it sucks, but I feel morally obligated to talk about it, and I should. I personally disagree with him. It's okay to enjoy his content. I'm not saying it's not okay to enjoy his content. It's just game reviews on the internet. However, the man behind him said some questionable things, and I'm here to spark a debate or spark a thought in your head about whether or not it's right to support him or not, or think about supporting him, or understanding where this might put you. My whole channel is about discussing and having intellectual conversations about internet content that seems disposable at first. It's about finding the value in things, and unfortunately, things have to get political sometimes, and I think in the future, a lot of my content is going to get political, so if you're not into that, I ask you to unsubscribe. I don't want to keep you here in something you don't want, but it's something I have to address. Again, in the comments below, talk about this whole ordeal, and I politely ask that you respect my my stance on this as a creator, not my personal biases, but as a creator, talking about these problems and how we have to address it in public discourse, especially when looking at something critically. Some people can't look at something without the artist's intentions or their background, and that's perfectly fine. Everybody has their own experiences in their life that may have a different emotional or mental response to things. You're just as biased for saying that you have to separate the artist from the art from the artist. That's just how it is. You have to respect people's ability to communicate it. And for me as a creator, it's an issue of image. If he in the future goes on about more political outbursts, and he says something very morally questionable, I do not want to be held accountable by people I don't want to seem like I agree with JonTron, and I'm already sticking my toes in something already by doing this. I'm reviewing his content at a time when he isn't as revered as he was. I apologize for the candid video, not scripted. That's why I seem a little bit more less verbose, I guess. But I've been really hard at work, literally my job, not here, and I have some life-changing events going on soon enough, and I want to work on this full-time again, and I think there's going to be a lot more content coming out. So stay tuned for those who stay subscribed throughout this video. I'll see you then in the JonTron Season 2 review. The remake, or the edition, whatever you want to call it.